Put your hands up if you love hibiscus. Now keep them up if you have one in your garden, and keep those hands up longer if you know whether you're growing a hardy hibiscus. Okay, if you're growing a hardy hibiscus, how many know if it's a perennial hibiscus or a rose of Sharon? Both are cold hardy, but how many know if both are actually called hardy hibiscus? Okay, for those of you who are fully versed in hibiscus, you can put your hands down. And for those that aren't, it's okay. Today we'll cover the basics of the genus and hopefully even cover some interesting facts for those folks who have their arms in the air like they just don't care. Let's get started. While hibiscus is both the common name and the botanical genus for a few species of this bountiful bloomer, and more than one is cold hardy, only one is technically called hardy hibiscus. Now, before we talk about how they're different, let's start with how the plants in the genus hibiscus are the same. In every species of hibiscus, you'll note these similarities. They love full sun, they are all heat tolerant, and they are all noted for their splashy, colorful, trumpet-shaped blooms. And they are also all androgynophores. For hibiscus, this means their pistil and their stamen are fused, forming that single, showy, reproductive stalk in the flower's center. And they can all be called hibiscus, but that's pretty much where the similarities end, especially when we start to move beyond the name of the genus hibiscus. To help better understand naming, let's unpack some history. Way back in the 15th and 16th centuries, botanists used a long string of unwieldy descriptive names for plants called polynomials. Every time a new plant was discovered, its botanical name would have something added to it so you could distinguish it from its predecessor. For instance, Convolvulus folio althea became Convolvulus argenteus althea folio, which eventually ended up as yikes. In the 1600s, two fellows named Caspar Bauhin and August Ravinus proposed that plants ought to have the names of no more than two words, also known as binomial nomenclature. It was a good idea, but it didn't really catch on. For the next 100 years, plants would still largely be identified by their common names. So the same plant could be called many different things depending on which part of the world you happen to be in. How could a roving botanist keep them all straight? That's where Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus comes in. In the mid-1700s, he formalized the use of binomial nomenclature in his whopper of a book, Species Plantarum, or The Species of Plants. His book marked the first consistent use of a naming structure for plants, and it laid the basis for modern nomenclature. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with common names. They're often easy to remember, descriptive, colorful, and easy to pronounce. But because there are no universally accepted rules for assigning common names, there's no way to confirm that the common name you call a plant is the same one your neighbor uses, or your cousin in Georgia. But there's far less confusion when you know that all plants have two names to identify them: the genus, which is a more general name, and the specific epithet, which is more specific. These two things together form the species name. Okay, let's get back to hibiscus. Hibiscus is a genus of flowering plants in the Malvaceae, also known as the mallow family. That's why you might hear them referred to commonly as rose mallow or swamp mallow. Although the genus hibiscus has more than 200 species, today we'll focus on the most common. Hibiscus rosa sinensis, common name, tropical hibiscus or Chinese hibiscus. With the exception of patio plants, you won't see a Hibiscus rosa sinensis in an outdoor landscape unless you live in a warm subtropical and a tropical region of the world. Native to tropical Asia, this shrub blooms in colors from white to yellow to pink to red. Although the 4 to 8 inch flowers only last a day, they bloom continuously all summer. You'll find them planted in the ground where they can reach heights of 15 feet, but will stay under 3 feet in containers. It's a broadleaf evergreen with green, glossy foliage, and it can be trained as a standard in containers. Notable cultivars include H. rosa sinensis, Beau V, Bonnie Nouvelle, and Madame Dupont. Fun fact, the state flower of Hawaii is the yellow hibiscus. There are 7 species of hibiscus that are native to Hawaii, but the most commonly grown is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Hibiscus syriacus gets its species name from the Latin word for Syria. Remember Carl Linnaeus? And his amazing naming system? Well, he made a mistake on this one. You can't blame him though. He didn't have the internet to check his work, and honestly, he literally was making it up as he went along. Linnaeus misidentified this species as being from Syria when in actuality it's native to China and India, but the name for the species stuck. Shrub hibiscus is most often called Rose of Sharon or Althea. Due to the fact that it's very cold hardy, this shrub is often referred to as hardy hibiscus, even though technically that name is reserved for perennial hibiscus. But we'll talk about those in a minute. Blooming late summer to early fall, Rose of Sharon flowers can measure up to 3 inches and will last 1 to 2 days before falling to the ground. Hardy down to zone 5 and heat tolerant to zone 9, these shrubs can reach 12 feet tall and typically grow in an upright vase-shaped habit. However, the habit of the pillar series of hibiscus is a little different, growing 10 to 16 feet tall but staying just 2 to 3 feet wide. Rose of Sharon is sometimes known for self-seeding, but non-invasive cultivars with little to no seed set have gained popularity, such as the Chiffon series and the Satin series of Rose of Sharon. There are smaller, more garden-friendly cultivars too, including the Little Kim series and a sterile dwarf hybrid hibiscus, Polypetite. Both cultivars mature at just 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. The newest in the Proven Winners Colorchoice lineup is the Paraplu series of Rose of Sharon. Big, colorful blooms cover compact plants that reach 5 to 8 feet tall and wide and 6 to 10 feet tall and wide. Rose of Sharon blooms from summer to fall and has a broad range of flower colors, ranging from white to pink to purple to blue. Finally, there's hardy hibiscus, Hibiscus mosquitos, and Hibiscus laevis. They are native to North America, and when you grow these, you'll get huge 7 to 9 inch flowers in the red to white color spectrum. They earn the name hardy as they will withstand temperatures down to USDA Zone 4, and they bloom a bit later than other garden plants, but once they take off, they are capable of adding an inch of growth a day. Like tropical hibiscus, the blooms only last a day, but they're prolific rebloomers. These are herbaceous perennials, so in cold climates they'll die down to the ground each year, unlike Rose of Sharon, which has a woody structure that remains intact throughout the winter. These perennials typically grow to about 3 to 7 feet, but the Proven Winners Summerific collection of hardy hibiscus is a more compact size, maxing out at about 4 to 5 feet. Popular cultivars include Summerific Holy Grail and Berry Awesome. There you have it. Hibiscus is certainly a beautiful and extremely varied genus, but it's easy to tell them apart when you know their botanical names. But no matter what you choose for your garden, I feel certain Linnaeus would approve.